Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. I am your host, Tom.
And I am Sarah. We are so happy to have you with us today.
Sarah, how are you doing today?
I am doing wonderful, Tom. I'm feeling very energetic because I love the topic we are discussing today.
Me too. This is actually the number one problem that students ask me about. It is a very frustrating problem.
It is. The problem is this. I can understand English perfectly when I listen to it. I can watch movies. I can understand podcasts like this one. But when I try to speak, my mind goes blank.
Yes, the words are locked inside. It's like you have a library of books in your head, but the door is locked and you cannot take the books out.
That is a perfect description. You know the words, you recognize them, but you cannot produce them. So today we are going to solve this mystery.
We are. We are going to explain why this happens because there is a scientific reason. And then we are going to give you powerful techniques to unlock your voice.
So let us start with the why. Tom, why is it easy to understand but hard to speak?
Well, it comes down to two different parts of the brain. We have passive vocabulary and active vocabulary.
Passive and active. Can you explain the difference?
Sure. Passive vocabulary is the words you understand when you hear them or read them. Your brain recognizes the sound and the meaning. This is usually a very big group of words.
Okay. And active vocabulary?
Active vocabulary is the group of words you can use instantly when you speak. This group is much, much smaller.
I see. So it's normal that my understanding is better than my speaking?
It is 100% normal. Think about your native language. You probably understand difficult poetry or medical words, but you do not use them in daily conversation.
That is true. So the goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to move words from the passive bucket into the active bucket.
Exactly. We want to move the words from the back of your brain to the front of your mouth.
So how do we do that? I think the first barrier is psychological. It's fear.
Oh yes, the fear of freezing, the fear of looking stupid.
When we listen, we're relaxed. We just sit back and let the information come in. But when we speak, there's pressure.
We feel like we are on a stage. We think everyone is judging our grammar. Everyone is judging our accent.
And that pressure makes our brain freeze. It triggers the fight or flight response. Your brain thinks you're in danger, so it shuts down.
So step one is to lower the pressure. You need to accept that you will make mistakes.
I always tell my students that mistakes are proof that you're trying. If you're not making mistakes, you're not learning.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about a practical technique to bridge this gap. One of my favorites is called shadowing.
Shadowing. We have mentioned this before, but can we explain it in detail for our new listeners?
Of course. Shadowing is not just listening and repeating, it's acting. You listen to a short clip of audio, maybe one sentence, and you repeat it exactly as you hear it.
Exactly as I hear it. You mean the speed and the emotion too?
Yes, you copy the emotion, you copy the pauses, you copy the melody of the voice. You try to become the speaker.
Why does this help with speaking?
Because it trains your muscle memory. Speaking is a physical act. Your tongue and lips and jaw need to move in a specific way to make English sounds.
That makes sense. When we just listen, our mouth muscles are sleeping. Shadowing wakes them up.
Correct. And because you're copying someone else, you don't have to worry about grammar. The grammar is already correct. You just focus on the flow.
I love that. It takes the stress away. You're just an actor reading a script.
Another technique that is very powerful is called the 3-second rule.
The 3-second rule. What is that?
This is for when you are in a real conversation. Often, when someone asks us a question, we pause for a long time. We're searching for the perfect word.
Oh, I do that. I try to translate a complex sentence from my head, and I get stuck.
Exactly. The 3-second rule says you must start speaking within 3 seconds, even if you don't have the perfect word.
But what if I don't know the word?
You use a simpler word, or you explain it. For example, if I forget the word for umbrella, I can say the thing that protects me from rain.
I see. So the goal is to keep the conversation moving, not to be a dictionary.
Yes, fluency is about flow, not perfection. If you stop to find the perfect word, you break the flow.
That connects to something I call the good enough mindset.
Tell us about that.
So many of us understand English well because we're intelligent. We have complex thoughts in our native language.
Right, we're adults. We have serious opinions.
But our English speaking level might be like a child, so we feel frustrated because we cannot express our complex adult thoughts.
That's a huge frustration. I feel like a baby when I speak a new language.
So, the good enough mindset means accepting that simple English is okay. You don't need to use big, fancy words to be understood.
Simple is actually better most of the time. Think about the best public speakers. They use clear, simple language.
So, if you want to say, I am extremely exhausted from my overwhelming workload, just say, I am very tired from work.
It means the same thing, and you can say it quickly and confidently.
Tom, I want to talk about input. We said that understanding comes from input, listening and reading. Should we stop listening if we want to speak better?
No, never stop listening. But we need to change how we listen. We need active listening.
Active listening. How is that different from normal listening?
Normal listening is passive. You listen for the general meaning. Active listening is listening like a thief.
A thief? What are we stealing?
We are stealing phrases. We are stealing chunks of language. When you hear a phrase you like, you stop. You write it down and you say it out loud 5 times.
Ah, chunks. We love chunks. Can you give an example?
Sure. Instead of learning the word mind and the word don't separately, you learn the chunk I don't mind.
I don't mind. That is a very useful chunk. It's ready to use.
Exactly. When you learn chunks, your brain doesn't have to build the sentence from scratch. You just pull the whole chunk out of your memory.
It makes speaking much faster. It's like Lego blocks. If you have the blocks ready, you can build the house faster.
So, when you're watching a movie or listening to this podcast, try to catch 1 or 2 chunks, steal them, and use them today.
That is great advice. Now let's talk about the environment. Many people say, I cannot speak because I have nobody to talk to.
That's the most common excuse, but it's just an excuse. You have the best speaking partner in the world with you all the time.
Let me guess. Myself?
Yes, you yourself. Talking to yourself is the secret weapon of polyglots. People who learn many languages always talk to themselves.
But isn't it weird to walk around the house talking to yourself?
Maybe a little bit, but who cares? You're in your house. Narrate your life.
We talked about this in our last episode too, describing what you're doing. I'm washing the dishes. I'm making tea.
But you can go deeper. Have a debate with yourself.
A debate? Like arguing?
Yes, pick a topic. For example, do you prefer cats or dogs?
Okay, I prefer dogs.
Now, explain why out loud. Pretend you're explaining it to a friend.
Okay, I would say, well, I prefer dogs because they're friendly, they like to go for walks, and they make me feel safe.
Perfect. You just practiced speaking. You used connecting words like because and you did it with 0 pressure.
And if I make a mistake, nobody hears it.
Exactly. You can stop and say it again. You can polish your sentence. This builds confidence.
Confidence is really the key, isn't it? It seems like the bridge between understanding and speaking is built on confidence.
It really is. And confidence comes from doing. You cannot think your way to confidence. You have to speak your way to confidence.
I want to suggest another fun way to practice, recording yourself.
Oh, the dreaded recording. People hate the sound of their own voice.
I know, I hate it too sometimes, but it's so honest.
It is. The camera doesn't lie and the microphone doesn't lie.
Try recording a 1-minute diary entry every evening, just talking to your phone about your day.
And here's the trick. Don't listen to it immediately.
Really? Why not?
Because if you listen immediately, you will just judge yourself. You will focus on the mistakes. Wait for 1 week.
Ah, that is interesting. So record it on Monday and listen to it the next Monday.
Yes, by then you will have forgotten exactly what you said. You will listen more objectively. You will hear your progress.
You will think, hey, I actually understood that. My English is not so bad.
Exactly. It shows you that you are communicating, and that is a great feeling.
Tom, let us review what we have discussed so far. We have covered a lot of ground.
We sure have. First, we understood that the gap between understanding and speaking is normal. It's passive versus active vocabulary.
Second, we talked about shadowing, copying the sound and emotion of a native speaker to train your mouth muscles.
We discussed the 3-second rule. Don't think too long, just say the simple version. Keep the flow.
We talked about learning chunks, stealing phrases so you don't have to build sentences word by word.
And we talked about